Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a Software Development 2 class. I do apologize, I am sick. This is my final project for the CEN-4802C Software Installation Configuration class. Um, and basically, what we were tasked with as our final project is to just go over our entire pipeline and add a few more things to it to make it a fully functioning pipeline. Let's go ahead and jump into what I specifically did. Where we were left off on this project here. Um, Specifically, where we last left off was I was for our midterm for this class, and I think at that time we had introduced VM meter. Um, but what we're gonna do, or what I did rather, is I refactored the original code from a simple script into a persistent HTTP web server. Essentially, how that works is instead of doing the calculation once and quitting, it can stay alive listening on, I set it to port 8000 for any incoming battle requests, i.e., slash vmon slash wormmon slash patamon. We'll get into that in a second here. And why this matters is in real world distributed systems, applications need to generally always be on. They need to be on services that can handle requests from multiple users simultaneously. Thinking back to, when we were talking about Riot and League of Legends and how they do it. So we wanted to specifically simulate what that would be like if there were multiple users actually using this application. We want to change this from a school assignment into a microservice. First, we started by using or creating a Docker file, and we use that to compile the Java application into a single portable image, aka Digimon Battle Latest. Basically, it creates an isolated environment or container that holds everything. Essentially, it solves the "it works on my machine but not yours" problem. Sorry, my notes are over here. I had to write a whole lot because talking is very hard right now. But basically, by containerizing it, it makes it easier for it to run on any system without any too much stuff required to be downloaded, etc. Um, Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Basically, what we did from there is we deployed that Docker container to a cluster using Minikube. Basically, we defined a deployment and a service. So Kubernetes Connect as a traffic controller. All right. So some of the things we went that I added to this from our midterm here. I wanted to get into that, but I needed to get through a bit of an explanation as to where we were last and where we are now and what I did exactly. So basically, I'm using JMeter as dynamic profiling and testing. So I configured Apache JMeter, and I have it set up right now currently. I have it set up currently to a thread group here, and as you can see, it's a thread group of 50 users. I set it for a loop count of infinite, but we could set that something like a more logical, like 1,000, 10,000, etc. Excuse me for a second. And what all this does is essentially it exposes an endpoint to repeated high traffic. This being like the URL here, which I'm going to pull up now. Bear with me here. This is our Digimon Battle server online. It's very basic. Don't mind the fact that it's very simple in its nature. If I had more time and I was not feeling so crappy, I would have gone complete full battle rattle and like completely deck this out with as much Digimon stuff as I possibly can. But unfortunately I couldn't. Um, but basically, why this matters and why we essentially need it to be exposed to that is one, it proves that the network is open. It proves that the application is stable. We don't get errors and that it doesn't crash from like high amount. And it allows for dynamic profiling, aka real-time logs. As you saw earlier, or you might have seen earlier, there was an example here on the bottom of my screen from earlier when I was, putting this out here. You could see that it started on port 1000, and these clickings here are just me running these things. And you can see though it ran VMon attack a bunch. This is one I got it finally start working. But yeah, this is let's go ahead and get this running so I can just show you that basically what it's running. Just a quick thing, as you can see, I do have Minikube running up here. This is also for Apache JMeter. But we see that's obviously up and running here. But let's go ahead and say we want to run a VMon attack, right? Let's go ahead, and as you can see here, there were some VMon ones. So let's go ahead instead so we can see the differences. Let's go ahead and run a Patamon attack. Okay. As we can see that it is running now. And on our end here, you can see the different attacks happening. As you notice, it's a pattern, VMon, Patamon, Wormmon, and that does different attacks based off of that randomly. In conclusion, why this all matters, what this essentially helps me do, it helps me create a cohesive DevOps feedback loop, essentially where the Java provides the logic, Docker makes the logic portable, Kubernetes makes that portable logic scalable and accessible to not just my device but to other devices, and then JMeter is what we use to verify that the application actually runs and it does what it says it's supposed to do. But yeah, that's my final project. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great one. Sorry I'm sick, but have a good one. Bye.